Good morning. This is Dr. Susan Dinsmore James. Please call me Dr. Suze because that's a mouthful. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I did grow up in Pensacola, the Pensacola area, went through school here, and graduated and went off to San Diego State University. And I earned my BA in Liberal Studies Education. It was a dual degree with an undergrad in English. And started my career teaching second grade, which I loved, in San Diego. My first husband was a victim of Desert Shield, and so after his death, I moved back to Pensacola, and Florida would not let me teach elementary school. They wanted me to teach middle school math, science, social studies, or English, which is kind of funny because I'm horrible at math. But I began my 15-year career as a middle school English teacher and absolutely loved it. I traveled around the U.S. Quite a bit. Several years later, I met and married my second husband and lived in some areas that were, lower SES. I worked in Fort Lauderdale in a pretty tough school where I was a resource teacher, and I also was the child abuse and suicide designee and earned a grant there where I worked with students and paired them with dropout prevention students and had a tutoring program, a peer tutoring program, and that was a lot of fun. I worked in Fairfax, Virginia, which is one of the best school districts in the nation, which was a great experience for me, where I taught gifted and talented, English as a second language, and special education students, and I learned quite a bit there. Really, I learned the majority of what I know about teaching in the last 2 years of teaching. I was a high school reading specialist, and that's where I began giving students choice based on themes. We would study a concept like struggles and perseverance, and I would have various levels of reading, from Sports Illustrated Kids to historical fiction, to nonfiction, about people or places. And students would work with the essential questions that you will see in the Reflections notebook, and they would have conversations with each other and do activities together and create slideshows and movie trailers and do all sorts of really neat activities. And when I gave that up, when I gave up the power of teaching one novel, I think that's when I really, finally had teaching down, and that was years 16 and 17. I adopted a little girl from Russia. Her name is Elena. She's the love of my life. And after going through a very bad Katrina divorce after 15 years of marriage, Elena and I moved back to Pensacola, and I decided to go back to school and earn my PhD. And I have a dual PhD in English and in reading as well. So I'm a Nole, Florida State Nole, love Florida State football, so pretend like you do, even if you don't. And now I'm teaching, hopefully going to be teaching a lot of secondary courses in English, because that's my field, and I have a very strong passion for it. I have a book site called thebookdealer.net. I'd like for you to take a look at it. There are some current books on there, and I would like for you to choose a new book to read. You don't have to choose from that list. Maybe there's something that you would want to read that you've heard about. Maybe Fault in Our Stars. John Green is a great author. Some of this dystopian society books that are coming out. Choose one book that you would really like to read, okay, for fun, okay? So this week you're going to be starting your Reflections notebook. I'm here to help you. Some of the readings you could probably skim in Chapter 1. Chapter 2 you probably have to read, more faithfully. I'm looking forward to this class. It's a very short time period, and I just found out that I'm teaching undergrads and graduates, so it's going to be an interesting time for both of us, but we're going to have a great time, okay? Let me know if you need anything, and have a great day.